Welcome. It's another Tuesday. Glad to see you. It's Proverbs time. Time to spend just a few moments in the Proverbs. If you're coming by this channel and it happens to be your very first time, hold on. Just wait a minute. You are about to get some wisdom from the wisest man to ever live, and that is Solomon. And my name is Everett. I am a pastor and I love God. And I want to share one of the things that have changed my life, and that is just spending every single day in the Proverbs because I seek wisdom. And probably you do too. You want to be wise. None of us want to be noted as the fool. And I've done a lot of foolish things, but the difference is our desire is to get smarter and not be working hard, especially in our lives. So what I do is I take a proverb, the proverb of the day, that whole series of proverbs. So today is July the 5th. Happy July the 4th. Happy Independence Day. Our dependence is on God always, but we are grateful to be an American. I am a Black American at that. I am glad to be a Black American. We have much work to do, and we need to be a lot more wiser, if you will. But God has put us here for a time such as this to bring him glory. So today is July the 5th, and we take the division of the Proverbs in chapter 5, and we read down through there, and then we just pick some to share with you. And so today, what I want to share with you, and I'll put it on the screen for you so that you can see what we're looking at. I want you to be able to see that proverb. And again, Proverbs chapter 5. And I actually want to read Proverbs 20 through 23. And this one we've shared talks about a woman, talks about a relationship in the beginning. And when you get down to the end, in verse number 20, it says, "For why should you, my son, be enraptured by an immoral woman, and be embraced in the arms of a seductress? For the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his paths. His own iniquities entrap the wicked man, and he is caught in the cords of his sin. He shall die for lack of instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray." And so I want to just this ending here, which is kind of dope. It says that the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord. So the Lord does know. You know, way before the Santa Claus song, right? He knows when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake, and he knows if you've been bad or good. So be good, for goodness sake, right? Well, look at the word here. The scriptures say that the Lord does know those things of a man. They're before the eyes of the Lord. And then it goes on to say something in my mind that's intimate, and he ponders all his paths. I spend a lot of time pondering my own paths to know that I have a creator that loves me and ponders my paths. And then we're talking about a creator that is omniscient, who knows everything. He knows what I will do before I do it, yet he ponders my path. You know, and that's just similar to us. We have similar fetishes where we might watch a movie. We know exactly how it's going to go, but we watch it anyway. We like the plot. We like what's going on. And I see God as this great playwright. And we are the actors on his stage, actors and actresses on his stage. And he's pondering our path. He's looking at the way in which we go. And I just think that's amazing. It's an amazing thought. And then verse 22 says, "And so a man's iniquities entrap the wicked man." And so, you know, these iniquities, these sins, these desires that are internal, that are contrary to the will and way of God, those things, they entrap the wicked man. Now, by wicked, it's talking about one that is unbelieving. Like they don't believe in God, they don't trust in God at all. So their actions show that lack of faith in God. Their iniquities, they trap them. Then it says they're caught in the cords of his sin, of their own sin. And so a lot of times we think people that are doing wrong, they get away with it. Not according to the Bible. If the Bible is true, and it is, no person gets away with what they do. The world, in some ancient Near East philosophies, call it karma. We don't. We call it justice. And God will do that. We are not the authority to enact justice upon humanity. God is. And he says clearly in these words of wisdom that our iniquities, they would entrap the wicked person. We're caught in our own sin. Then he says in verse 23, he shall die for lack of instruction. And in the greatness of his folly, he shall go astray. And Solomon was talking to Rehoboam, talking to his son about leadership and life. And he said, share with him, your relationship with a woman. If you read the beginning of this, can make or break you. And you hear a lot of people say behind every good man there's a great woman. I certainly agree with that. And even if you're not married, even if you're single, I mean, God has created the people around us to be able, we can enjoy them and we can help and encourage one another. But you have to be careful and you have to understand how important every one of your relationships are. And we all must take responsibility for our actions, for what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, we're caught in our own cords of sin. Then he says, and we'll die because of the lack of instruction. So I can't say enough about how important it is to have instructors, mentors, people in our lives that can give us instruction, that can give us a broader look of what's happening in life and give us some insight and some wisdom. Now, do you have someone in your life that can instruct you? Do you have someone in your life that can show you the direction in which you're going and can just sort of be that prophetic voice to say, if you keep going this way, this will happen. If you change these things, this can happen. Success is just ahead of you because you're doing things in a wise and right way. We all need that. I encourage you to be wise and think through who is the person that can give you instruction. It can't just be you. It can't just be me. Now, we can receive instruction from God's word, right? We can receive instruction from God's word, but you also want to have someone in your life that can instruct you so that we don't find ourselves entrapped in the cords of our own folly, our own sin. Some people said, in my own master plan, which leaves me enslaved and leads to death. Well, I don't want to see anyone die. As a matter of fact, my desire is to see people love God, hate sin, and have fun. If you can't have fun, you count it all joy. Find that person that can give you instruction and be that person for someone else that can instruct you. If you enjoyed the content today, give us a thumbs up and by all means, subscribe and you can get all of the content that comes on this channel. May the Lord bless you and may he keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and give you peace.
Welcome to United.